I apologize for my video being so late. I have been having some really bad car trouble, so I've been not able to record because I haven't been here at the place that I'm back. Yes, new me. What's up? But for real, what's up, y'all? People always ask me like, what's your story? And my whole life has been my story because my whole life has led me to this point that I'm at right now. Nothing has happened, nothing has been a coincidence. All my trials and tribulations have led me to become this person, led me to walk down this path. So when it's time for me to tell the story, it's like, where do I begin at? Because I've always been this, this has always been inside of me. It's just now able to come forth and, come to the light. So where do I start? I'll start with college. I mean, that's about where everything like really started coming together. I guess I'll start like right when I found out about Sudbury. Sudbury, just so you guys know, is I work at the Sudbury School of Atlanta, SSA. Yes, shout out to all my parents and my babies. SSA, Sudbury School of Atlanta, is a school that is democratic and kids are self-directed, meaning that they are in charge of their own learning, no classes, no homework, no curriculum, no nothing. It is whatever they choose to do with their day. It has really helped me become who I am today. It has really freed me because I've been able to help free other kids, I feel. They're on their own journey of self-liberation, and seeing them on their journey and helping them on their journey has helped me on my journey. That's what I love about SSA is the fact that we are all teachers and we're all learners in this environment. It's so beautiful. I'm going to get into that on another episode. So basically, this video, I just want to give you guys like a brief, not brief because there's nothing brief about this, just talk about how the last year has been for me and how I actually started my journey of self-liberation, how I got to the Sudbury School, how I feel like I really began becoming this free spirit that I am. So yeah, that's what we're about to talk about. So let's get into it. Boom, I'm gonna take y'all there, okay? So let's go. 2017, sophomore year of college, I was at West Georgia Technical College in Carrollton. I was working at Zaxby's, and I was miserable in a sense, I guess you can say. The year was really crazy. I was following the wrong crowd. I hated Carrollton. Not gonna even lie. That's another reason why I left. I could not stand being in Carrollton, from the racist people to there was like 3 shootings while I was down there. I'm scared to go to parties now because every party that I went to while I was down there, it was always a fight, somebody shooting. Like, I always have my guard up just because of the experiences I had down there. Like, it was really traumatizing. It's just a lot of drama my freshman year, and I really slipped on my academics. Not gonna even lie. I got to the point where I was on academic probation. So by the time my sophomore year came around, it was like no games being played. Like, I had to really hustle. But at that point, I was like, man, I don't even want to do this anymore. Like, I'm tired of this school crap. Like, but I know I want to be a teacher. And at the same time, I just started working at a daycare in Carrollton. And y'all, that place, that place was so nasty. Oh my God. It was chaotic. It was too much for me. I was at the point where I was like, I don't even like kids no more. Like, I don't even think I want to do early child care education. And that was all I was doing. I mean, high school, I took early child care education classes. I love kids. And to think that, like, I wasn't going to be able to follow that path and actually be a teacher or own my own daycare, because I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur, baby. Okay. I just wanted to own my own daycare. It's going to be like a youth center. And I saw that dream slipping away from me not wanting to work with kids anymore, from me being tired of school. I was just tired. It was so much going on at that time. And I remember scrolling on my phone, and it's this dude called Boy in a Band, and he had a video. I don't know how it popped up on my feed. I really don't know, y'all. I'm telling you, like, me finding SSA was really a blessing sent to me. I saw a video, and it was like, what was the name? I forgot what the title was, but it was basically something about you can go to school but don't have to do any work. And I was like, what you talking about, pimping? Don't have to do no work. Let me click this. Let me check this out real quick. And it had nothing to do with college, because I thought it was an older dude, so I'm thinking it's about a college student, you know, finessing their way through life and stuff. I'm a finesser. I like finessing, okay? Come on, if you went to MLK or any school in DeKalb County, you know about finessing, okay? So I watched the video and I was so amazed at it. Oh my gosh, just watching and learning about Sudbury and seeing how kids could be so free, and how they vote on their own staff members. They can choose their core classes or no classes if they don't want to. And I was like, why was my childhood never like this? Like, how did I miss out on this? I was like, oh my gosh, is this possible? Is something like this here in Georgia? I Googled it and I found the Sudbury School of Atlanta. That was in like, I want to say I found that video in like March. No, maybe, I don't even say March. I want to say April or something. After I found the video, I tried to contact the Sudbury School and I wasn't getting any answers or anything. And I'm like, what's going on with this place? So I just left it alone for a while. I was working at Zaxby's in Carrollton and I got fired. Yeah, I got fired. The lady said I missed a day or something after I actually caught. I told you they was racist down there, and it was management was switching, and I was angry, but I was like, you know what, this is my time. It was like 2 days before my birthday, and I was like, you know what, this is my time to go. There's nothing for me here in Carrollton anymore. I don't like the people here. I don't like the environment. I don't even have a job here anymore, so I'm bouncing. So I drove home. I was looking for somebody to sublease my apartment because I had an apartment down there. And the next day, I went to the beauty salon because I was supposed to be getting my hair done so I can go to the Weeknd's concert. And I decided to get a very low hairstyle. This is my favorite part about my journey, my hair, because look where it's at now. I love my hair so much. I was pissed and terrified when I cut my hair off. I didn't think she was gonna cut it as low as she cut it. But it worked out in the end. And I also dyed it orange, so it was like brighter than it. I didn't tell anybody. I just popped up and I was like, boom, carrot top, I'm here now. And that was me cutting off my hair. That was my moment of liberation. That was my moment of freedom, and I didn't even realize it at the time. I was too busy like, oh my gosh, my hair is gone. But I should have been like, oh my gosh, it's all gone. It was a moment of freedom, really, and I didn't even appreciate that moment at the time. So I cut my hair off, dyed it orange, and I was like, yeah, I have no choice but to go with this now. Like, this is me now, and I have to accept it. I wanted to hide for a while, I'm not gonna even lie. I didn't know what to do with my hair at first because I just wore it in like an afro at first, and you must forget, it was like, I wish I still had the blonde because like I just recently cut off all my dead ends. That's what I'm telling y'all, like, she is here. And I was in the process of moving in with my dad. I was like, I can't stay here for a whole summer and not have no money, not have no job. I had 2 interviews that day. It was for the daycare in Douglasville, and then it was one at Captain D's. My big cousin had hooked me up with the job. Thank you, Alley Cat. And then I left the Douglasville one, and on the way to Conyers, because it was the Captain D's in Conyers, I stopped at Sudbury. And I was like, you know what? These people not calling me. They not answering me back. Like, what's going on? I'm just pop up at this place because, I mean, I need to be here. Like, I need to figure out, like, what is this place? So I got there, and they gave me a tour, and I loved it. The kids were playing. They were on the way to a field trip at a water park. Everybody had bright colored hair, and I was there with my orange hair, and I was like, I fit in here, like, yes! I got colored hair, I got colored hair, we gonna get along good. But the school was just letting out, so I wasn't able to start when I wanted to, which was really sad for me. I didn't take the job for the daycare because I knew I wanted to work at Sudbury. So I ended up at Captain D's for the summer. I ended up subleasing my apartment, and I ended up moving back with my dad. Once summer was over, I ended up totaling my car. I had a back injury, and I just was like, what am I going to do now? But at the same time, I did not drop. Let me be 100% clear. I did not drop out of school at this point. I was still telling myself and my parents that I was going to just do online classes from home. I mean, at the time, I was really convinced, like, I'm going to still do this school thing. You know, I was really motivated to still pursue my career in education and still kind of do the right thing. So after the car accident, I was like, oh man, what am I gonna do? I ended up calling the school and was like, hey, you remember me, the girl from May, you know, with the orange hair? Can I still come up there and work for you guys? And they were like, yeah, sure, but we don't have any staff positions available. You can just basically volunteer. So at this point, I don't have a car. I don't have a paying job. I'm just volunteering at this place. That was, I wouldn't say a hard period for me, but it's just like, back on it now, and I can't even remember how I felt in those moments, because now I'm only thinking about how grateful I am to even have been in that position to be able to just volunteer there. And I remember my first few days there, I was able to sit in on the first school meeting and everything, and I was like, oh wow, like, this is really happening. Like, I'm really working here. And soon after that, I ended up like under like one of the other staffers' wings, and she kind of took me on like a little mentor, and really helped me kind of adjust and really work with kids being free, because that was my first time ever really experiencing freedom like that, especially for kids. And I'm like, how do I get them to respect me at this point if there's no, like, they have no reason to respect me or listen to me? Like, I'm a new person here. Like, why do they have to listen to me? And it took me a minute to really fully gain their trust, because that's how you get the respect. You know, that's how they start listening to you once you gain their trust and everything. They're like, okay, this adult isn't trying to like steer me wrong. She's just trying to help me. And I really had to sit down and talk with a lot of the kids and just really play with them and work with them. And it was hard. So I ended up being a paid volunteer. It was just so refreshing to learn the ropes and get to know the kids and play with the kids. SSA is something so different. Sudbury is something so different. I'm going to go into details about that on another episode, you know, strictly about Sudbury. This is just about my journey of liberation. Then I finally became a staff member, a part-time staff member. I was so happy, y'all. I was just slowly climbing up the ladder. And while that was going on, I was slowly climbing up the ladder at SSA. I was also slowly not doing my work at school. I mean, come on, y'all, it was online. I was like trying to pay my friends to do my work. Like, yo, I don't feel like doing this essay. How much will I have to pay you to do this? Because I don't feel like doing it. that worked for a little while, but again, I did not have a job, so this was money that I really didn't have that I'm trying to pay people, so I had to stop doing that. And I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. But I didn't know how to tell my mom or my dad, just family period, that I wasn't feeling the school stuff. And it was like, okay, once I tell them, then what? Like, how am I going to make it out here in society if I don't have a degree? Because, you know, you can't make it out here in society without a degree. You know, I feel like, okay, I don't graduate, I don't get this degree, then I'm going to be a failure. Like, I'm the oldest of all my siblings. My siblings look up to me. So it's like, if I don't do this, if I don't get this right, if I'm not the role model that they need me to be, what am I going to do for them? What am I showing them, you know? And I felt like me dropping out at that time would be me failing them, myself, my family. I didn't look at it as I'm doing this for me and there's another way to do it. You know, I was just looking at it as one way or the highway. And when you come from a family that, ooh, child, when you come from a family that, I don't think we have many college graduates on either side of my family. So that was big, you know, like they're looking at it like, okay, if you don't do this, then how are we going to get out of the space that we're in right now? You know, you're next up, which I think a lot of us have that same feeling from our family. Like, you know, I'm next. I'm the one that has to take our family to the next level. And that's a lot of pressure. Again, I'm the oldest and I felt so much pressure on my shoulders at the time. And I just couldn't tell anybody. I knew that I didn't want to do this. I knew I wanted to pursue Sudbury full time. I knew that I could make a living this way. I knew that if I kept climbing this ladder and I kept on doing this, I would be okay. But something in me was like, it was not something in me, it was society, it was my parents, it was everything. I guess, yeah, it was something in me too. It was just like, no, you can't not go to school. Like, you're a failure. You're gonna fail at life. You need this degree. It was so scary. And I remember going to a workshop for one of the parents at the school. I did a journal prompt to myself and I said, I can't do this anymore. I can't. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm not happy with this, and I know that I want to start pursuing self-directed education full-time because I'm not learning this way. I'm not happy this way. This isn't what I want to do anymore. I don't want to pursue this degree. I knew that this would make me happier, but if I did this, I felt like I was being selfish. I felt like I was being so selfish because I knew that so many people were depending on me and they would be so angry at me, but I finally had to make a decision for myself. I had to say, enough is enough. I'm not doing anything for anybody else but Shan. I can't keep living like this. So I wrote it down and I was just like, you know what? I want to help others. I want to help other people feel the same way that I feel. I want to help free other people. And to do this, I have to free myself first. And at that moment, I knew I couldn't go back. I could not continue at this school. And I knew that school is always an option. You know, going back to college will always be there. But right now, for this moment, I'm saying I can't do it. And I think I was on a walk with one of the other people that was there, and we had to read our journals back to each other. And the lady that I was walking with, Christina, she just gave me the biggest hug, and she was like, I'm so proud of you. She was like, do it, you're gonna be okay, you know? And she just reassured me so much. And I left that place with a weight. Like, it just felt like a weight fell off my shoulder. And I knew that in that moment, I was making the right decision for me. But I still wasn't ready to tell my parents about my decision. I didn't know how to tell them because at the time, I'm like still lying to them, telling them that I'm in school, you know? I'm like reading Free to Learn, which I call my Sudbury Bible, and I'm reading blogs about Sudbury, and I'm watching, listening to Fair of the Free Child and all these other podcasts about self-liberation and everything, and I'm writing stuff down. Like, it looked like I was actually in school, but I mean, I was in school, just freedom school. And I was just like, how am I going to tell my parents? And my friends were like, Shan, you need to tell them, like, you can't keep this in for too long. And I'm like, I know this, shut up. I'm going to do it on my own time. And my mom texted me. I think she just straight up asked me, like, you're not in school, are you? Or something like along those lines. And I was like, the day has come. The day is the day. And I called my diary, my friend Khalil. I rode around with him, and I was just like, I'm going to have to tell my mom. I'm going to have this conversation with my mom. And I know nothing good is going to come from this right now. I know she won't understand where I'm coming from. And we got back, and I went in the house, and I was like, all right, it's time to face the funk now. I was like, whew. And so she asked me questions and stuff, and I was like, I don't want to do it anymore, basically. I was like, you know, we got into a big argument because I was like, well, Mom, you know, you have a degree, but you haven't used it yet. Like, you aren't even fulfilling your dreams, you know. And at the time, it was like, it sounded like I was, you know, like, coming at her. But at the same time, I'm like, it's not how I wanted it to come. I was just saying, like, I want to say that I tried. At least I attempted at my dream, you know. And if it doesn't work out this way, then fine, I'll do it your way. But right now, there's no change in my mind. And we got into it really bad. My grandma even came in there, and she was like, Shan, you need to listen to your mom. And I'm like, be quiet, grandma. And I remember just storming at the house crying. Like, I was in tears, because my mom is everything to me, you know. And to feel like I disappointed my mommy, that was the hardest thing ever, to tell her that. We didn't even talk to each other for the longest. I think it was like a couple of weeks. And I would come over to the house, and I would go see my sisters, and we wouldn't talk. And my mom was like my best friend. But to not talk to my mom, because I made the decision that I felt like was right for me, it hurt so much. I was just like, see things from my point of view. Like, that's why I think it took me so long to finally open up and say, like, I don't want to do this anymore, because I knew the backlash I would get from it, from family. I knew that once I accepted it and once I finally said it out loud, but I knew it was going to be a period where I was just going to feel like shit, basically. I was going to feel like a failure. You know, and that's what I felt like in their eyes. Not for me, but I felt like a failure in their eyes, you know, and that's what hurt the most. And it just hurt me that my parents couldn't see where I was coming from. My dad and I, we still aren't on the same page about it. We don't see eye to eye at all. I'm living with him now, and have y'all seen the episode of Grownish when Junior decides to do his gap year? That's basically how my dad did it. He like tried to put more responsibilities on me and stuff, and you know, like, it made me start paying for things of my own. And I'm like, that's cool, I don't mind it, that's perfectly fine, you know. I'll take on that, you know, if that's how you want to do it. But at least attempt to see what I do. Like, my biggest thing with came and told my parents, like, okay, I don't want to do this college anymore. I want to go into I guess directly into my field, you know, and start, you know, pursuing self-directed education full time. They didn't even give me a chance to, like, fully explain what this was or to see my side of everything, you know. It was just like our way or the highway. And I was like, you guys have never even came to my job. You guys never even asked me about what it is I do. You don't even understand what this is doing for me. You have never toured, you know, asked me questions. It was just like, oh, Shannon's doing this little crazy hippie stuff, you know. And it was more than that to me, and that's what hurt me the most, because I see my parents breaking their back for my siblings, and it was like, this was the time that I needed you guys the most, and you weren't there for me. I needed you to help me and support me, and instead you threw me against the wall. That hurt so much, and I had to work through that pain and that anger on my own. And that's why I say this journey of self-directed education has been a healing process for me, because I've learned and I've been able to hold space for my emotions and my anger, and understand that it wasn't just about me in the moments that the reason why they wanted me to stay in school. It was more than that. And I had to remember that, and I had to forgive them, and I had to love them, because they're still my parents. And now me and my mom are in a way better space, and she has supported me, and she'll probably be watching this, and I'm probably going to get a lot of backlash from this. Yeah, it was a lot. That was some deep pain that I had to go through. I think me and my mom did sit down like maybe a month later, and we talked, and to get my parents off my back for a while, I did tell them, like, yeah, this is just temporary, I'm gonna go back. And then I think maybe in like February or March, they realized, like, this kid is really not going back to school, like, she's really done with this. And I started wearing the label college dropout, and I started saying it more, like, and I was like, I'm gonna accept it. Like, there's nothing wrong with me saying that I didn't finish college. I didn't want to do it, and I found something that fits me, that helps me, and I'm learning still. I'm learning so many things. I'm learning about myself. I'm learning about the world around me. Yeah, I think around March, that's when I told them, like, okay, seriously, like, I'm not going back to school. I'm done with this stuff. And like I said, my mom accepted it as much as she could. And I think my mom understood, like, I know what I'm doing. I'm not just out here, I don't know what you want to call it, just doing anything. I'm happy and I'm free, and because I've took this leap of faith and I stepped out on a limb, I was able to get on my favorite podcast, Fear the Free Child. I was able to go to New York this summer and be a camp counselor. I've been to Liberation Summits. I've started my own podcast. So much is happening, and so much will be happening, so stay tuned for more. So I say all that to say that it's okay. It is okay to go far left and do your own thing, as long as you have faith in yourself, and as long as you know you're going to be okay. That's all that matters. I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm just here to talk about my journey and free myself, and I'm in a better place than I ever was. And I'm so grateful to, like I said, to the girl that I was last year, because she endured so much pain, because I had to get to this spot where I am today, like I said, it was transformation pain, no mud, no lotus. That's my favorite saying. Through all that, a beautiful flower came. And so I'm so grateful. The road is still bumpy. Nothing has changed, I'm still fighting my battles. Like I said, my dad and I still don't have a good understanding, of what I'm doing. And that's perfectly fine, we'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. But all that matters to me is that I'm doing what I love. I'm free. And baby, guess what? I'm getting paid to do it. A lot of people aren't blessed to wake up every day singing, happy, to be able to go to a job that they love. I'm so blessed to be Sudbury School of Atlanta. I'm so blessed to have worked at Camp Stomping Ground this year. I'm so blessed to have been on the Keela Richards podcast. You know, I made a vision board last year. Around this time, that's crazy. It's time for me to do my new vision board. And my blog was on it. Traveling was on it. There was some other things. And everything that was on my vision board, I completed. So, no matter what it looks like on the outside, inside, I am fulfilled and I am happy because I've set so many goals for myself and I have dominated each and every single one of them. And so I am so excited to see and show you guys what's to come and for you guys to come along with me because, like I said, this is only the beginning. That is really all I have for you guys today. I'm not going to apologize for crying, for showing my emotions. I hope that you guys get comfortable enough to start crying and showing your emotions and expressing yourself too. I'm so glad to have been able to come back in front of the camera and kind of give you all a glimpse inside of what my last year of liberation was like. 2019 is only 30-something days away, so let's get this, guys. I can't wait for you guys to see what's to come. Hopefully I'll have some guests on soon, you know. I'm a go with the flow person, so when I get in front of the camera, I just get in front of the camera and talk, and then I edit and I post. There's no formula to it. I don't sit down and think about like what I'm going to do before I do it. I just let it all flow and come out, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Thank you so much.